37 of my 7th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 37. That does not mean that it is too late to join the challenge. It is never too late to join the challenge. Of course, you don't have to do the entire challenge. If you just want to do today's workout with me, that would be wonderful. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to hear a little bit about what the challenge is, how it works, how you can participate, where to begin, and if you would like to see the exercises that we are doing for today's workout briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into all of that right now. So there is a playlist for this challenge that lists all of the workouts in chronological order. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and it will be linked right on the screen at the very end of the video just to make sure that you cannot miss it. So click on that link and save the playlist. Even if this is the first you're hearing about the challenge and you don't know whether or not you want to do the challenge, just save the playlist so that when and if you decide you want to participate in the challenge, you will have all of the workouts readily available to you. And then when and if you are ready to begin your challenge, just make sure that you start with your day one workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start with your day one workout on a Wednesday, then all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. It's super easy to follow along. However, I am here doing the challenge right along with you. Even if you have not started your challenge yet, and my challenge is going to be over in a few days, whenever you start the challenge, whenever you are actually doing these workouts, if at any point you need help, I am here to guide you through the challenge. I am here to encourage you and to support you along the way. I am here to help motivate you if you need that. I am here to answer any and all of your questions, regardless of when you are doing the challenge. So save the playlist, and then when you're ready to begin, just start with your day one workout on a Wednesday, and then just follow along with the playlist. It's super easy to follow along. So really, the only requirement to participate in the challenge is just that you're doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day, every single day, except Sundays for 40 days. That's it. So each day of the challenge, I like to incorporate my daily reps into a structured workout, and that is what I share with you every day. And the workouts are labeled days 1 through 40. Now, if you want to do the challenge the way I do it, you are absolutely welcome to just do each day as it comes. But if it's your challenge, if you're the one doing it, it's your challenge, so you do it in whatever way you want. So you do not have to go in order through the playlist, and you do not even have to work off of the playlist at all. Any workout you want to do that happens to meet those requirements of containing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of abs, and at least 40 push-ups will work. So if you find some other workout on someone else's channel on YouTube or somewhere else, that's great, as long as it meets those requirements and you're getting those 160 reps done. You could also write your own workout, but if you don't have time to incorporate your reps into a structured workout, you don't have that amount of time to set aside in your day to do a structured workout, or if it's still just too difficult for you to do all of your reps at the same time, you can spread out your reps randomly throughout the day. You don't have to do an actual workout. Again, as long as you're getting your reps done, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So for example, you could get up first thing in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, 10 push-ups. It can be any variations of those 4 exercises you want, and then you can just repeat that 3 more times throughout your day. So you could do that again after lunch, you could do it when you get home, once more before bed. There's your 160 reps. Or while you're at work, maybe every time you walk down the hall to get a sip of water, you could do 4 walking lunges down the hall. Maybe every time before you walk into the kitchen, you do 5 squats until you have reached your 160 reps. So the challenge is really flexible. I designed it that way specifically because I know it can be daunting to commit to a 40-day challenge. It's a long challenge and it's tough to stick with it and get those reps done every day. So I wanted to make it as easy as possible to fulfill your requirements. So you don't have to do these workouts with me You don't have to do a workout at all. As long as you're getting your reps done, do them anytime, anywhere you want, any variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups you want, as long as you're minding your form. This challenge is also very easy to modify and customize to accommodate your current fitness level or your access to equipment or any time constraints you might have. So if you are watching and you are an absolute beginner and you are in the worst shape imaginable, you don't own a single piece of fitness equipment, you've never done a workout before a day in your life, you have no idea how to do a squat, you don't think you can do a single push-up, yes, you can. You can do this challenge. I promise that this challenge is for you. So last year, I went out of my way to prove that to you. Last year was my 6th year in a row doing this challenge, and last year I went out of my way to ensure that this challenge and every single workout from day 1 through day 40 would be accessible and doable for absolute beginners. So if you are a complete beginner, what I would like you to do is click on this link. I'm going to put another link up in the iCard. This is the link for our Year 6 playlist. Click on that link and save the playlist. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video. It will be linked on the end screen. So if you are a beginner, please, I'm asking you to do 3 things right now. You don't have to commit to anything just yet. You don't have to do any squats. You don't have to do any push-ups. Just 3 things. Number 1, click on the link in the iCard. Number 2, save the Year 6 playlist. It will say 6th Annual Slap Challenge. Save that playlist. That's our beginner playlist. And then number 3, I just want you to start by watching that day 1 video. The video I shared for day 1 of the challenge last year is going to answer any and all questions you could ever possibly conceive of about this challenge. I talked about the origins of this challenge, why I started doing this challenge just for myself back in 2020. I talked about my mental state at the time. I also talked about all of the different objectives of this challenge. So yes, we're using these 160 reps every day to get stronger, but there's also a mental health component to this challenge. And we talked all about that in that day 1 video from last year. Also, in that day 1 video from last year, I explained and demonstrated how to do your squats, your lunges, your abs, and your push-ups with the correct form. And I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do. You can do push-ups. I promise you can. And I also talked about different ways that you can participate in this challenge in your way. So if you are an absolute beginner and you've never done a workout before, you might think I'm crazy telling you that you can do a 40-day fitness challenge, but you can. I promise you can. So here's the thing. Again, if you are the one doing it, it is your challenge. So you do it in whatever way works for you. If you feel that it is not realistic for you to commit to all 40 days of the challenge, then your challenge can be 20 days. You could do just the first 20 days of the challenge with me. You could do just the final 20 days of the challenge with me, or you could do every other day of the challenge. Your challenge can be 10 days or 15 days. And if it's too much to commit to doing 160 reps every day, maybe you could commit to doing 80 reps a day. That would be 20 squats, 20 lunges, 20 reps of abs, and 20 push-ups every day, or every other day if that works better for you. Maybe you could commit to doing 40 reps a day. That would be 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of abs, and 10 push-ups. So watch that day 1 video. Please just give me an opportunity to convince you that you can do this challenge. And then once I have convinced you of that, decide to what degree you are capable of committing to this challenge. Whether that's 160 reps a day, 80 reps a day, 40 reps a day, 20 reps a day, whether it's the full 40 days or maybe 20 days every other day, 10 days, 15 days. Decide what is a realistic goal for you. Make your goal ambitious. You know, it's supposed to challenge you. It is a challenge, so it should be an ambitious goal, but it should be something that you feel is within reach so that you are able to accomplish it if you work hard enough. So decide to what degree you are capable of participating in the challenge, and then here's the hardest part. I'm going to share the whole secret with you right now. Commit. Use decisive language and really commit to doing the challenge in your way. And it really is the difference between saying, I'll try to find the time to start next Wednesday, and I'm doing this challenge. I'm starting on Wednesday. Remove the tries, remove the maybes, remove any ifs, use decisive language. Decide what is a realistic goal for you, and then commit to making that goal happen. Commit to following through on that goal. I promise you that is the hardest part. Once you make the commitment, following through is actually pretty easy. The reps are still hard. It's a long, tough challenge. I'm not gonna lie about that. But once you have really decided that you're going to do it, and you haven't given yourself an out by saying, I'll try to do it, you will see that it's like there is a switch that's flipped in your brain, and you are immediately going to go from excuse finding mode to problem solving mode. So there are going to be lots of obstacles along the way. So let's say you decide that your challenge is going to be every other day and you're doing 80 reps every other day. That's your challenge, that's the way you're doing the challenge. So you say, okay, well, I'll start on Wednesday. I'll start with my day one workout on a Wednesday. And boy, Wednesday is really, really packed. I've got all these meetings. I've got to drop the kids off here and there. I've got to run all these errands. So I want to do the challenge. I'm just so busy though. I'll try to find the time on Wednesday to get the workout done. The Wednesday workout should be pretty short. I'll try to find time. As soon as you say you'll try, you are giving yourself an out, because now next Wednesday comes, it's here. You didn't sleep well last night. You are tired. You have a packed schedule that day. You're busy, you're running around, and there just wasn't time to do your workout. You tried, you said you tried, and you tried to find the time, but you didn't find the time because you were too busy. But if you remove the try and you say, I am doing this challenge in my way, this is how I'm doing it, 80 reps every other day for 40 days. That's my challenge, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to do it, I'm starting on Wednesday. Wednesday comes, and all of those same things are still true. You still didn't sleep well last night, you're still tired, you still have a packed schedule, but you made the commitment. And so you are going to go from excuse finding mode to problem solving mode. You are immediately going to start thinking of ways to solve those problems. You are going to find ways to overcome all of those obstacles. So again, if you're doing 80 reps a day, you could wake up in the morning and do 5 squats, 5 lunges, 5 reps of an ab exercise, 5 push-ups, and repeat that 3 more times throughout your day. Or you could do 10 reps of everything, and then you would only have to do it once more. You know, once in the morning, once before bed. There's your 80 reps. Or again, while you're waiting for the kids to get ready, you know, the kids are lagging behind, can you find time to do 5 squats? I bet you could. So spread out your reps randomly throughout the day. You are going to find a way to sneak in those reps when and where you can, and you are going to find a way to follow through on your commitment. But the hardest part is using decisive language. The hardest part is removing the tries and saying, I'm doing this challenge. So again, if you are an absolute beginner, just know that when and if you commit to the challenge, you will not be going through this challenge alone. I am here. I am here doing the workouts with you every day, but I am also here to guide you through your challenge. Whenever you decide to start your challenge, I will be here to provide support. I will be here to encourage you along the way. I promise. If you need help finding motivation, I will do what I can, and I can answer any and all questions you have. So even if you're an absolute beginner and you're following along with last year's playlist, if you have questions or if you need help, you can comment on any of those videos from last year, and I am here. I will help. But again, when and if you are ready to commit to the challenge, regardless of your fitness level, regardless of which playlist you're following along with, the challenge is always the same. The challenge is always designed as a 40-day challenge. Whether or not you do all 40 days is your call, but the challenge is always 40 days. The challenge is always 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And the challenge is always designed to begin on a Wednesday. So when and if you are ready to begin your challenge, just make sure that you start with that day one workout on a Wednesday. And then again, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. I promise it's super easy to follow along. So if you are a beginner, please make sure that you save the year 6 playlist. Start by watching your day 1 video and then decide to what degree you're capable of participating in the challenge. Make the commitment to do that. And when you're ready to begin, you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. If you are following along with me this year, this is my 7th year in a row doing the challenge. And I have been assuming that if you are a beginner, you're going to be following along with the year 6 playlist. So if you're with me this year, I've been assuming that you're at more of an intermediate level. And by that, I mean that you have access to a few basic pieces of fitness equipment, at least a set of dumbbells and an exercise mat, let's say. Now, if you don't have any equipment, that's fine. I have been providing equipment-free substitutions, and I will continue to do so for the remainder of the challenge. But I've also been assuming, if you're following along with me this year, that you're at an intermediate level, meaning that you do not need as much instruction with regard to how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form. I'm assuming that you already know that your back should be flat and the weight should be in your heels when you're squatting. I'm assuming you already know that your body should be in one straight line as you're doing your push-ups. So I have not been going into as much detail about how to do the exercises with the correct form, and I have not been as diligent as providing beginner modifications as I was last year. So if you are a beginner and you need that level of instruction and you need to see beginner modifications, you're probably going to be better off following along with last year's playlist. But I know that not all beginners are automatically at the same level just because they're beginners. So I'm not banishing you from this year's challenge if you're an absolute beginner. You can still follow along with these workouts that I'm sharing this year as long as you feel like they're not too far out of your reach. But you will be needing to apply equipment-free substitutions if you don't have the equipment I'm using, and you will probably be needing to apply beginner modifications to at least some of the exercises. So just know that if ever you need further instructions, you can always check out the workout from the corresponding day from last year's playlist, and you will see the exercises explained and demonstrated in more detail. And I will also be providing beginner modifications, and also you're guaranteed not to need any equipment for any of last year's workouts. But if you want to follow along with this year's workouts, I'm always here to help. So if you ever need further instructions as far as how to do the exercises correctly, if you ever need further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I'm providing in the video, you can ask and I will be here to help. Now, if you are advanced, then you might want to follow along with the playlist that I shared for year 5 of the challenge. Year 5, the workouts were all much longer, they were much more challenging, and we were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps. We also a lot of times were doing exercises other than just squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, but we were doing more challenging variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. I was usually adding weight, taking every opportunity I could think of really to make the exercises a little bit more difficult. And we were incorporating about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio right into most of those workouts from year 5. So if you are in really good shape, you have excellent stamina, you definitely have access to a few basic pieces of fitness equipment, especially a jump rope. And if you have a little bit of extra time to dedicate to your workouts each day, then you might want to check out the playlist from year 5. So I will link the year 5 playlist up here in the iCard, and it will also be linked in the description box down below the video. It will be linked on the end screen. So all 3 playlists, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, will be linked in the iCard. All 3 of those playlists will be linked in the description box down below the video, and all 3 of those playlists will be linked at the very end of the video right on the screen. So especially if you are advanced, I'm going to recommend that you save all 3 playlists, because then you can just kind of bounce around between the playlists. So again, you do not have to stick with the same playlist the entire time. So let's say you're really advanced and you're capable of doing all of the longer, tougher workouts that we did in year 5 of the challenge, but there comes a day where you are not feeling well, or you're traveling, you don't have access to any equipment, you're super pressed for time, but you still want to get your reps done. Check out one of the workouts from the year 6 playlist. If you're in really good shape, you are going to complete almost every single workout that we did last year for the challenge in under 10 minutes. So you really don't need any time, you don't need any equipment. You'll be able to stick with the challenge very easily that way. So if you are following along this year and you're at kind of an intermediate level, but what are we on today? Day 37. If you've been with me since the beginning and you're starting to really feel like you're getting stronger, the challenge is working, and you're ready to start pushing yourself a little harder. Let's say you look at the workout we're doing today and you think, well, I don't think that's really going to challenge me very much. You can check out The workout from the corresponding day from year 5 of the challenge, but again, you could do any of the workouts off of the year 5 playlist. So you don't have to stick with the same playlist, and you also don't have to go in order through the workouts. So by that same token, if you look at what we're doing today and you think, well, that's too difficult for me, I'm not there yet, let me see what we did last year for day 37. Maybe that will be more manageable for me. Or let me look at any of the workouts from the year 6 playlist, because those are going to be geared towards beginners. You're guaranteed not to need any equipment, and they're probably going to be shorter, simpler, and less strenuous. So if that's what you need on any given day, you have all of those options. So if you save all 3 playlists, then every single day of the challenge, you will have 3 options. You will have a beginner option, an intermediate option, and an advanced option. So that way you can just choose whatever workout is going to work for you. Just remember, you don't have to stick with one playlist. You don't have to go in order. You don't have to do the day 37 workout on day 37. You can do any of these workouts on any given day of the challenge. Remember, the only requirement to participate in the challenge is just that you're getting those 160 reps done. So any workout that happens to contain at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of abs, and at least 40 push-ups will work. And if you do not want to incorporate your reps into a structured workout, you can spread them out randomly throughout the day. And that's it. That is how the challenge works. So if you're super advanced, same challenge, same thing, okay? 40-day challenge, 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. The challenge starts on a Wednesday. So if you want to follow along with the advanced playlist, it works exactly the same as the beginner playlist and the intermediate playlist. Click on the link, save the playlist, and then when and if you are ready to begin the challenge, you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. And from there, just follow along with the playlist, and remember that I will be here to help guide you through your challenge. So if at any point you have questions, just reach out and I'm happy to help. But that is quite enough about the challenge for today. So let's go ahead and get into the exercises that we are doing for today's workout. So you can see I have one of my dining room chairs here with me, and I have a set of dumbbells. For reference, and for reference only, these are 10-pound dumbbells. That is a good weight for me. That's going to challenge me plenty for this workout today. You may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier than that. That all depends on your strength, on your level of fitness. It also just depends on what you have available to you. And of course, it depends on how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. Now, my dumbbells are hex dumbbells, so that means that they are flat on the bottom. That's going to be significant for our push-up variation. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, you may need to modify your push-up variation, but it's very easy to modify, and even without the added weight, it will still be a very challenging push-up variation. So just a heads up about that. If you do not have dumbbells, then look for household items that will work. So maybe a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight. So you could fill them with water. You might be able to make them a bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried lentils or beans, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. If you're taking your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail today, you could probably fill them with sand or dirt. So just get creative and use what you've got, as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and injure yourself, you're not going to break something or make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then pretty much anything will work for weight. So just get creative and use what you've got. If you have absolutely nothing that is going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine. The added weight is optional. I will be providing body weight modifications. So you don't need to add weight if you don't want to. Now, I'm just using a dining room chair. I think everybody has access to a chair. If you are taking your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail, just look for something about this height. So you could probably very easily find a park bench. That would probably be the best substitution, but you might even be able to use like a boulder. So, or a staircase. If there's steps at the beach or the park or the hiking trail, you could probably use steps, or maybe like the railing of the steps. So just get creative and use what you've got. Now, if you have a plyo box will also work. I was going to use my plyo box, and year 5 of the challenge, I actually used an aerobic step for this workout. So an aerobic step will work also. But I actually think that for what we're doing today, I'm kind of combining the exercises that we've done for different years throughout the challenge for this day 37 workout. And for what I'm doing today, I actually think a chair is the best option. Just make sure that your chair, or whatever you're using, if you're gonna use a stool or something like that, just make sure that whatever you're using is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy, meaning that it's not going to collapse or fold up or break on you when you put weight on it. So please don't use like one of those collapsible stools or like a flimsy plastic folding chair. Make sure that whatever you're using is well made. Make sure that it's in decent condition so that when you put weight on it, it is not going to break. It is not going to collapse. It is not going to fold up on you. And make sure that your elevated surface is stable, meaning that it will not slide from underneath you. So the other thing I'm using is my exercise mat. So if you're going to be using a chair or a stool or something like a bar stool or something like that, I'm going to recommend that you place your chair or your stool on top of an exercise mat so that it stays put. The last thing you want is to be putting weight on the chair and then have it slide from underneath you. And I don't want anyone falling and chipping a tooth or breaking a nose. So please be smart, be safe, use your common sense. If you are going to use an elevated surface, make sure that your elevated surface is strong enough, sturdy enough, and stable enough to be used safely. All right, but that's it. That's all I'm using today: a set of dumbbells, a chair, and an exercise mat. So let's go ahead and get into the variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that we are doing today, starting with our squats. So remember, you can do any squat variation you want. You can do any lunge variation you want, any ab exercise you want, and any push-up variation you want. So even if you want to follow along with the video and work out with me and do basically the same workout, but let's say the push-up variation I'm doing doesn't work for you, while I'm doing my push-ups, you can be doing a different push-up variation. If you don't like the squat variation I'm about to show you, if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, you can still follow along with the video, you can still work out with me, but while I'm doing my squat variation, you can be doing another squat variation, okay? So that goes for squats, that goes for lunges, that goes for abs, that goes for push-ups. So just remember, any variations of those exercises you want to do will work just as long as you're getting your reps done and as long as you're doing them with the correct form. So make sure you're minding your form on the squats. You want to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. So I always like to think about tucking my shoulder blades into my back pockets. That way my shoulders are back and down, my chest is lifted high. Make sure your abs are tight. And then before I squat, I think of this as a hip hinge first. So hinging at the hips, I'm pushing my booty back like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty. At the same time, remember my shoulder blades are tucked into my back pockets. So my chest is lifted nice and high. I'm also thinking about trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest. I want my spine elongated so that my back is flat and all of my weight is in my heels. Do you see I can actually pick up my toes? And then from here, I will sink down into my squat. Then press your heels into the ground. Visualize pushing the ground away from you to stand. So that's just a basic air squat, and really that's my squat variation today. I'm just going to be adding a little kick over my chair. So I'm going to place my chair here on the mat. I'm standing behind the chair. I'm going to squat, and then I'm going to pick up one foot. I'm going to kick the leg first across my body towards the opposite wall, then up and over my chair, and then put the foot down, return to my starting position, and that's it. It's just a little round kick over the chair. So yeah, you could use a plyo box for this, that would be fine, but I like this height. So a dip bar or a walker would also work for this. We've done an exercise very similar to this recently in the challenge where I was kicking over my dip bar, which is a little bit higher, but anything that's roughly this height, this is coming up to about my waist. So anything that's roughly this height will work. And you don't necessarily need a physical obstacle here. I like using this chair as a target because then I have a physical object that I need to clear with my leg. If this isn't here, it's easy to get lazy and my kick starts being down here. So I really like to have a physical object that I have to clear with my leg so that then with each rep, I'm really forcing myself to engage my entire core, get that leg up and over the chair. But it's not strictly necessary. If you don't have a chair, if you're using a plyo box, or something lower than this, you can just visualize a target here and that will work as well, okay? But that is my squat variation. So if that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, do another squat variation. But I'm just going to stay on the same leg the whole time. So squat, pick up one leg, kick the leg across your body and then up and over the chair, return to your starting position. Same leg, squat, kick up and over the chair. Squat, kick up and over the chair, okay? That is my squat variation. Now, lunges and push-ups, I'm going to be combining into a little combo. So I'm going to, again, place my chair on top of my mat so that my chair stays put and it will not slide from underneath me. And then I'm going to do Bulgarian split squats. They're called squats, but they're really just lunges. So if you were to do just a static lunge, so let's say you step one foot back, bend both knees, come down into a lunge, and you just stay here. These are static lunges, and that's basically what we're doing, but I'm just going to have one foot elevated on the chair. That's a Bulgarian split squat. So if that's too difficult, if you don't have access to a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface, or if it's too difficult to elevate your foot, just do static lunges, the exercise I just showed you. That way you will be doing exactly what I'm doing, just without your back foot elevated. Super simple modification. I'm going to have one foot elevated, so I'm going to start, so here I'm centered, I'm going to start towards one end of my chair and angled out this way. So my chair is kind of square here. I'm going out like towards this front angle of the chair, okay? So from here, I'm going to step my inside foot, meaning the foot that's closest to the chair, I'm going to step that foot back and place my foot on the chair. And then from here, I'm going to do my Bulgarian split squats, okay? So it's really just a leg elevated lunge, okay? I'm going to be holding on to weights while I do it. The added weight is completely optional. So you can do it with your foot flat on the ground, you can do it with your foot elevated on the chair, you can do it without holding on to weights, or you can do it holding on to weight, okay? I'm going to be holding on to my 10-pound dumbbells while I do this, but I'm showing you your equipment-free or your body weight modifications first. I guess this, well, I'm showing you equipment-free modifications too, because I showed you how to do it without the chair. So we're going to do 5 Bulgarian split squats. Then I'm going to put my dumbbells down. I'll show you first without the dumbbells, but I'm going to come into a plank pose here, and then I'm going to put both of my feet up on the chair. So then from here, I'm just going to do incline push-ups, which is just a standard push-up, but with my feet elevated on the chair. Then I'm going to walk my hands over, do another push-up, walk, do another push-up. So 3, 4, 5 push-ups, okay? So now I'm on this side of the chair. So I'm on this side and angled out this way. We're going to repeat that in the other direction. So now I'm going to pick up the opposite foot. So you're always placing the foot that's closest to the chair on the chair. So I'll pick up this foot, place it on my chair, and then do another 5 Bulgarian split squats. Okay, holding on to my dumbbells. Then I will put my dumbbells down, put my feet back up on the chair, and I'll repeat my push-up sequence. So push up and walk, push up, walk, push up, walk, push up, walk, until you've done 5 push-ups, okay? So 5 Bulgarian split squats, and then 5 push-ups to get from here to here. Then 5 Bulgarian split squats on the other leg, and then another 5 push-ups to get from here to here. So by the time we're back to this side of the chair, that means that we will have completed a total of 10 Bulgarian split squats and 10 push-ups, okay? So we're going to do all of that twice, and that will be a total of 20 lunges, 10 reps on each leg, and 20 push-ups. Then we are going to move on to our ab exercise. So I'll show you the ab exercise and then I will explain the format, because of course we're going to repeat that combo and we're going to do our squats on the other leg. So I'll explain the format in just a minute, but that is our lunge and push-up combo, okay? So 5 lunges, 5 push-ups, 5 lunges, 5 push-ups, and then repeat that a second time, okay? So I'm going to be doing that holding on to my 10-pound dumbbells. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you are using household items for weight, like water bottles or shampoo bottles, then you can hold on to them for the Bulgarian split squats. That's absolutely fine. Of course, you can hold on to your weights the same way I'm holding on to mine. But when we do our push-ups, I do not want you putting your weight on rounded dumbbells like this, or walking your hands over while holding on to rounded dumbbells. So I'm going to ask that you do, if you want to hold on to your weights for the Bulgarian split squats, that you put the weights down, do your push-ups, and then you can pick them back up. If you want to hold on to them for your Bulgarian split squats, put them down for your push-ups. So I know that if you do that, the exercise is not going to flow as well because your dumbbells will be here, and then you're going to walk over here doing your push-ups, and then you'll have to go get your dumbbells and bring them over. But I don't want anyone falling and getting hurt, so I'm going to recommend that you do that. The exercise won't flow as much, but it will be safer. I know that there are plenty of people who hold on to rounded dumbbells while in a plank pose, and who do push-ups on rounded dumbbells, and who do plank rows using rounded dumbbells. I know that people do that. And you know your body, you know what you're capable of. I just want you to be smart, I want you to be safe. I want you to use your common sense and make the decision that is best for you. Only you know what level of risk you are comfortable taking, but for the record, I would prefer that unless your dumbbells are round on the bottom, you do not use them for your push-ups. If you are using rounded dumbbells, or if you are using household items like shampoo bottles or water bottles for weight, I'm going to recommend that you put them down after your Bulgarian split squats. Do your push-ups with your hands flat on the floor of the ground, and then pick up your weights for your split squats, okay? So up to you, however you want to do it, but that is my lunge and push-up combo, okay? So same thing I just showed you, but I'm going to be holding onto my dumbbells to increase the difficulty. And last but not least is abs. So I'm not adding weight to my ab exercise. This is going to have me crying enough as it is. So I'm doing double rainbows. So I'm just going to place my chair here on the mat, and then I'm going to start seated on the mat with my feet towards one side of the chair, and I'm just going to pick up my legs and bring them up and over, tap my heels down on the other side of the chair, and then back. It's a double rainbow, so that's 1 rep, and then I'm just gonna add a little knee tuck here, okay? So 1 rainbow, double rainbow, knee tuck, that's 2. 1 rainbow, double rainbow, knee tuck, that's 3. Up and over, 4. So again, I'm just using my chair as a target, so anything about this height will work. That's why I say a chair is actually ideal, because it's 2 heights. So my target for the squats was this. My target for my abs is this. So if you're just using a plyo box, if you have a set of plyo boxes, you could use a small or medium plyo box here, and then either your medium or tall plyo box here. If you're using a park bench, you really can probably use the arm of the park bench for both. But again, having a target is not strictly necessary, but I just find that it helps me really engage my core and get my legs up and over. And your target absolutely can be lower than this. I told you year 5 of the challenge, I was using an aerobic step, which is like this height. And I was using that for this exercise, using that as my target, and it's still a really challenging exercise. So your target can be lower than this. Your target could be a cardboard box or a milk crate. Look in your garage, see what you've got, a couple of cinder blocks, okay? So anything you have that will work as a target is fine. If you don't have anything that's going to work for a target, you don't necessarily need a physical obstacle. I just like to have this here because it forces me to really work hard to keep getting my legs up high and over my target. It's gonna be killer on my abs. Okay, so that is my ab exercise. Remember, you do any ab exercise you want, but I'm doing a double rainbow plus a knee crunch, and that's it. That's all for exercises. So now here's the format. We're starting with squats. I'm going to be doing my squat plus a round kick. And remember, we're going to be staying on the same leg the entire time. So I'm going to do 40 reps on one leg. I am going to end up doubling my squats. So just because I want to increase the difficulty today, you do not have to do that. So if you don't want to do 80 squats all day, then you can do sets of 20 with your squats. So the very first thing we're doing to start the workout is squats. I'm going to be doing 40 reps of squats all on the same leg. You can do 20 reps of squats all on the same leg and then move on, okay? I'm doubling my squats. You don't have to double your squats if you don't want to. But I'm going to do 40 squats all on one leg. Then I'm going to move on to my lunge and push-up combo. 2 sets, or 4, so it's really 4 sets, but we're traveling from this side to this side and back twice, okay? So it's really 4 sets. It's gonna be a total of 20 lunges and 20 push-ups, okay? Then we're moving on to abs, and I'm going to do all 40 reps of my ab exercise at once. I will be in tears, so get ready to watch me cry. I'm going to do all 40 reps of abs at once, and then it's going to be like kind of a mirror image. We're going to work backwards. So after that, we're going to go back to our lunge and push-up combo, and we'll do another 20 lunges, 20 lunges, 20 push-ups, and then we'll finish up with our final 40 reps of squats, or you can do 20 reps, but you want to do the other half of your squats on the other leg, okay? So it's going to go squats, then our lunge and push-up combo, then abs, then lunge and push-up combo, then squats. Okay, so as long as you're completing at least 160 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So if you want to do sets of 20 with the squats, that's fine, but we're doing half of our squats on one leg to start, the other half of our squats on the other leg to finish. And in between, we're doing our lunge and push-up combo, then abs, then lunge and push-up combo. Okay, so hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how it all fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, if you need to see beginner modifications, I'm always here to help, so please just ask. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And hopefully you guys know that it is extremely important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Also, I want to remind you, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, so please make sure that you are going at your own pace and minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. So if you're in great shape, you are definitely going to be faster than I am, and that's wonderful. Be faster than I am as long as you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. But if you are racing to stay ahead of me, either because you're competing with me and you want to beat my score, or because you set a really ambitious time goal for yourself that you're chasing and your form starts to get sloppy, you need to slow down. It is always going to be safer and more effective to slow down and do your reps with excellent form than it is to race through and allow your form to get sloppy. So I'm not discouraging you from competing with me. I'm not discouraging you from setting an ambitious time goal. I think both of those are wonderful things. I'm just saying to make sure that you are not sacrificing your form for that speed. Now, if you are slower than I am, also wonderful, because as long as you got your little booty dressed and you are out here doing these reps with me today, that is all I care about. That, and that you are doing your reps with excellent form. So please do not race to keep up with me at the expense of your form. If you're racing to keep up with me and your form starts to get sloppy, you need to slow down. If you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you're needing longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, or you're needing rest breaks where I'm not taking them, that's fine. Just pause the video and come back when you're ready. I'm not going anywhere. We'll finish the workout together when you're ready. So I do want you to challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. So please make sure that you are being smart and being safe. Use your common sense. Listen to your body. Make sure you're going at your own pace. Make sure you're minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. And make sure you're working to your own level. So that means choosing a set of dumbbells or household items that are an appropriate weight for you, nothing too heavy. It means that if the added weight becomes too taxing, putting it down and switching to the body weight versions of the exercises that I showed you. It means choosing a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface that is an appropriate height for you. And if it becomes too difficult to do your push-ups with your feet elevated or to do your lunges with 1 foot elevated, doing the equipment-free version of those exercises that I showed you, just doing static lunges and doing your walking push-ups with your feet flat on the floor or the ground. It might mean holding onto something for support for your squats, or shortening up your range of motion for the lunges, putting your knees down for the push-ups. Apply beginner modifications as needed. Please just make sure that you are listening to your body. Make the decision that is best for you and just do your best. Please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, gather whatever equipment you need. So for me, that's just a chair, a set of dumbbells, and an exercise mat. So you're definitely going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you for our ab exercise, or if you do push-ups from your knees. So an exercise mat or a yoga mat is ideal. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. But keep in mind that you're also going to want something to help your chair or your stool stay put if you are using a chair like I am. And an exercise mat is ideal for that. So make sure that whatever elevated surface you're using, whether it's a chair or a stool or a park bench or a plyo box, a weight bench would be another great option. You can also probably make the arm of your couch work or a staircase, but whatever you're using for your elevated surface, make sure that it is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy enough that it will not collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and make sure that it is stable, meaning that it will not slide from underneath you when you're putting weight on it. Grab a set of dumbbells if you have them. If you don't have dumbbells, look for household items that will work, like shampoo bottles or water bottles filled with some sort of weight. And if you have nothing at all that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to your workout, that's fine. The added weight is optional. You have your equipment-free substitutions. Pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We are going to start with a quick little 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into these day 37 reps. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Your arm is completely relaxed. You are not pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the opposite side of your neck by simply using the weight of your arm to do so. So now we're going to switch sides. Allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Your arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. They should be down, away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest, and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier, allowing your range of motion to increase so that eventually you want your entire torso just kind of spilling in front of you. Your arms are nice and loose like a rag doll. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So you can roll your shoulders either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you're exploring your full range of motion. So think about making the circles as big as you can. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So extend your arms straight out to the sides, and then you're going to begin by making small circles either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. But as the interval progresses, you're going to gradually start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are making your circles as big as you possibly can, really exploring your full range of motion. Now step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and sweep your arms in front of you, and as you straighten your legs to stand, you're reaching up. Each time you bend your knees, allow your range of motion to increase, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. Again, they should be a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. We're just going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. And now adding the arms. So now with each lunge, I'm just reaching my arm across my body, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're just going to march in place, super simple. So step the feet in and march. Knees are low to start, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can towards your chest. Really get them up there, feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. Now we're gonna jog in place. And again, knees are low to start, but as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So keep jogging, but now with each step, you're just bringing your foot behind you. Really try to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto your chair or the arm of your couch or a wall for support for this next one. If not, hands on the hips is fine. Transfer your weight into one foot. Pick up the other foot and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. We're just waking up those hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then as the interval progresses, if it's comfortable, you can start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now we're going to switch legs again. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, extend the leg straight out in front of you, and then bring the leg around and behind you. Each time you make this little semicircle with your leg, just lifting the leg higher and higher. And now we're gonna finish with 2 hip circles. So drive the knee up towards your chest and use your hand to guide it around. Other leg, extend the opposite leg out in front, bring the leg around and behind, making a little semicircle, lifting your leg higher and higher each time. And now 2 hip circles, drive the knee up towards your chest. Use your hand to guide it around. Finishing with a hamstring stretch, feet wide apart, hinge at the hips, forward fold. If you want to use your chair for this, or the wall, or the arm of your couch, it might make this stretch a little bit more accessible for you, but you want to keep your back as flat as possible in this stretch so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So if you use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you getting into this stretch, it makes it a little bit easier to do that, easier to maintain that flat back, and it can make this stretch a lot more comfortable. But that's it. And that is our little 5-minute warm up. So let's get right into the workout. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. We're starting with squats. So standing behind your chair. Now squat, pick up one foot, kick the leg across your body, then up and over the chair, return to your starting position. That's 1 rep, staying on the same leg. So squat, now kick the leg up and over the chair. That's 2, 3, 4. Keep going. I'm going to 40. You can do 20 if you want. All on the same leg. 40. So I'm doubling my squats today. You don't have to double the squats if you don't want to. You can just do sets of 20, that's fine. But that's it for now. We're not going to finish up with our final 40 squats until we've done our lunges, abs, and push-ups. So now we're moving on to our lunge and push-up combo. I'm doing 5 Bulgarian split squats, and then 5 walking push-ups, and then 5 Bulgarian split squats on the other leg, 5 walking push-ups to get back. And then we're going to repeat all that once more so that by the end of this section, we will have completed a total of 20 Bulgarian split squats. That's our lunge component, and 20 walking push-ups. The added weight is optional. So I'm going to be holding on to a set of dumbbells while I do this. Please remember that if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you are using household items for weight, to leave the weight be. You can hold on to the weights for your Bulgarian split squats, but then put the weights down while you're doing your walking push-ups, please. All right, so when you're ready, here we go. Always starting with the inside foot up on the chair. And now 5 Bulgarian split squats. Now weights down, both feet up on the chair. Push up, holding onto the dumbbells, and now walk the hands over. Another push up. Walk the hands. Push up. That's 3 push-ups. Walk, walk. Push up. Walk, walk. Push up, walk, walk. So now keep the inside foot up on the chair. Step the other foot down. And we're going to do another 5 Bulgarian split squats on this side of the chair now, with or without weight. Now, same thing, weights down. Put both feet up on the chair. Push up. Walk, walk. That's 1. Push up. Walk, walk. That's 2. Push up. Walk, walk. That's 3. Push up. Walk, walk. That's 4. Push up, walk, walk. That's 5. So we have done 2 sets, which means we've done a total of 10 lunges and 10 push-ups. We're going to repeat all that once more. I'm gonna zip it. I've walked us through the first 2 sets. This is a tough little combo, and it's 100 times tougher talking while I'm doing it. So you know what we're doing now. We're just going to repeat all that once more. I'm just giving myself a minute to breathe. If you don't need to rest, don't rest, but it's hard talking through it, and I need a minute. So again, just make sure you're going at your own pace. All right, I'm gonna try to string together 2 more sets, unbroken, as smoothly as I can. So wish me luck. Starting with another 5 Bulgarian split squats. All right, so now we've done 20 lunges and 20 push-ups. So moving on to abs. So just coming down onto my mat, seated in front of my chair. My legs are towards one side of the chair. My hands are on the mat behind me for support. And we're doing double rainbows plus a knee tuck. So I'm going to pick up my legs, bringing my legs up and over the chair, tap the heels down on this side, and now up and over, bringing the heels back. Return to your starting position. And now a knee tuck. Crunch the knees in towards the chest, straighten the leg. So that's one rep. So it's a double rainbow. So you have to make 2 rainbows per rep. So up and over, knee crunch. That's 2. 3. We're going to 40. I warned you during the tutorial that I will be in tears. So do your best. I'm gonna zip it so I can conserve some energy. Let me see if I can at least get to 10 before I have to stop and cry. That's 10. I already want to throw in the towel. I have to do 30 more. All right. I feel like I want to move this whole operation this way for some reason. abs hate me. Like, why are you doing this to us? Haven't we been good to you? All right, that's 20. Sets of 10 are clearly out of reach for me. So from here on out, I'm going to do my best to see if I can continue doing unbroken sets of 5. So that means I just have to do 4 more sets of 5 to get to 40, and then abs at some point in the distant future will be done. All right. I'm picking up my count at 20, so it is now my goal to do another 5 reps unbroken if I can. Here we go. Holy cannoli, that's 25. If you are stronger than I am, you don't need to be taking all these long rest breaks. You guys know I struggle with abs, so I knew these were going to be tough. I'm picking up my count at 25, and again, I'm going to make it my goal to do my next 5 unbroken if I can. When you're ready, here we go. It's 30. I told you I wanted the chair here as a target, but really it's just so I have something to lean on while I cry. All right, I have to do 2 more little sets of 5. These are so hard for me. My abs are just so weak. Even doing abs 40 reps of abs every day, they're still so weak. All right, another 5. Done so that they're done, but I need a minute because these my legs are fatigued also. My abs are killing me, but it's also hard to get your legs up and over so many times, so I'm feeling them in my legs also, but I just have to do 5 more. So when you're ready, here we go, let's push. Final 5 reps, and then abs mercifully will be done. 36, 37, 38, 39, last one. Double rainbow all the way across the sky, crunch, and that's 40. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So abs are done, thank God. So now, all we have left to do is finish up our squats, lunges, and push-ups. Easy, right? So we're just going backwards. So next is going to be another 4 sets of our Bulgarian split squat and push-up combo. If you did it the first time with the weights, but you feel like this time you're too fatigued, just do it without holding on to weights. That's absolutely fine. And remember, you can do this with your feet flat on the floor of the ground as well. You don't have to have your foot elevated for the Bulgarian split squats. You can just do static lunges. And you don't have to do incline push-ups. You can have your feet flat on the ground and just walk your hand over, or not flat, but you can have your feet on the ground and just walk your hands over. You can have your knees on your mat and just push up, walk the hands over, okay? That's fine. All right, let's see if I have enough strength and enough stamina to at least string together 2 unbroken sets, and hopefully a little bit more cleanly than I did last round. All right. When you're ready, here we go. Just one more set. the other half of our squats. So if you did 20 reps of squats to begin the workout, you'll do 20 now. Switching legs. I'm doubling my squats today, so I did 40 reps on one leg to begin the workout. Now I'm going to do 40 reps on the other leg. Oh, we're doing it in time. We're already 23 minutes in. All right. Definitely I'm not going to be able to do all 40 without stopping to rest. So I'll just rest as needed. If you need a longer rest break before we start the squats, so you can towel off, get a sip of water, just pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and start on my final 40 reps of squats. So squat down, kick the leg up and over, staying on the same leg the entire time. That's 2, 3, we're in 40. Do your best. That's 20. Whose idea was it to double abs? I mean, we did kind of double abs. Whose idea was it to double squats? You know those signs that say if you lived here, you'd be home by now? I keep thinking, if you hadn't decided to double your squats like a moron, you'd be done by now. All right, another 20 reps. Because I am a moron. It's 30, 10 more. Wait, did I? One more squat. Because, yeah, I was doing the leg over first and then the squat. Okay, so now 40. 25, 18 is my official score. All right, you guys, I finished the whole video and then I put everything away. I went inside to start editing and I realized that I forgot to do my additional set of 10 push-ups. So let's go ahead and do those now. These are optional, so if you don't want to do them with me, you can skip over this section. But this is a tradition since year 1 of the challenge that for days 36, 37, 38, and 39, we do an extra set of 10 push-ups. So I always just do 10 more of whatever push-up variation I was doing during the workout. There is a very good reason for this, and I will explain the reason why we do these extra 10 reps of push-ups for days 36 through 39 of the challenge. I will explain that all on day 40. For right now, I thought I was done for today, and I'm not, so I just want to get these push-ups done. So these are completely optional. If you would like to do this extra set of 10 push-ups, and just trust me that there's a good reason for it, you will hear the reason why on Saturday. If you've done the challenge before, then you already know the reason why. So you know that these additional 10 push-ups are not mandatory, but if you would like to join me, I am going to be doing another 10 walking push-ups with my dumbbells and with my feet elevated on the chair. So another 10 incline walking weighted push-ups. You can do any push-up variation you want. As soon as you're ready, here we go. Let's just get these out of the way. So I'm starting towards one end of my chair, feet up on the chair. Push up, walk, walk, push up, walk, walk. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, going back the other way, in the other direction. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so that's my bonus set of 10 push-ups for today. I'm going to edit these into the video in the right place, and then hopefully I will remember to do my extra 10 push-ups tomorrow while I'm doing the workout so I don't have to reshoot them. But that's it. We've done our 10 bonus push-ups for today. We are not quite finished yet. Remember that no workout tonight is ever complete. And especially no workout during this challenge is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. The bonus burpee is mandatory. You must do a bonus burpee, and the bonus burpee must be the last thing that you do because that is what completes the workout. No workout is complete until you have done your bonus burpee. It is part of every workout, and it is part of this challenge to do your bonus burpee after every single workout. You do not have to include a push-up with your bonus burpee if you don't want to. Any burpee variation you want to do is fine, but you must do a bonus burpee. It's the exclamation point at the end of the workout. It's a little celebration that we got these tough reps done today, and it's a pat on the back for sticking with your commitment for yet another day. So let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. So that ended up taking me a total of 25 minutes and 18 seconds. I did not set a time goal before I began this workout, but I think the next time I do this workout, I'm going to set a really ambitious time goal of 20 minutes because I won't be making a video, I won't be having to talk at all, and I can just really focus on getting the reps done. But for today, my official score is 25 minutes and 18 seconds, and I feel good about that because we are nearing the end of a very long, tough challenge. It is hot out here, and the most important thing is that I felt like I got some great work done today. That was a tough little workout, so I'm happy that I got it done. 25:18 is my score. If you timed yourself and you feel comfortable doing so, please feel free to comment with your score and let me know how long it took you. All right, so the workout is now officially complete. Let's just do a quick little cool down together. Just want to keep moving while you allow your heart rate to come down and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you can pace around back and forth, shake out the arms a little bit, shake out the legs. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body, use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed and make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. And this is a really nice stretch to do after all those push-ups. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder. Make sure you're continuing to move while we do these stretches. So don't just stand still. You can pace back and forth, especially if you're still breathing heavily, it might help to pace. But you can just shake out the legs like I'm doing. You can even just shift your weight from foot to foot. But keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So you do that by really concentrating on feeling your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Think about breathing all the way down to your belly button. Allow your rib cage to physically expand and visualize filling up your entire torso with air, and then use your diaphragm to control the air slowly as you exhale. Let's get the other arm. So bringing the opposite arm across your chest, pulling it in close to your chest with your other arm. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Your shoulder is completely relaxed as well. Feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. Keep moving. So you can see again, I'm just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot. You can shake out the legs. You can pace, whatever feels good to you, but keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Inhaling all the way down to your belly button. Using your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. One more deep breath here and then we'll come out. Nice. Shake out the arms a little bit. Next, let's get the triceps. So bending one elbow, place your hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You want to avoid having your free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. So point your fingers straight down at the ground as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. It's another one that feels really good after all those push-ups. Keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. Let's take one more nice deep breath here, inhaling all the way down to your belly button. Feel your rib cage expand. Visualize filling up your entire torso with air and control the air as you exhale. Shake out the arms. Let's get the other side. Bend your other elbow. Place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. Keep shaking out the legs. You can pace, you can shake out the legs, you can shift your weight from foot to foot and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So let's take one more nice deep breath here. Use your diaphragm to slowly control that exhale. Coming out of it, shake out the arms. We're going to finish with a quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or some other strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support. Maybe your kitchen counter, dining room table, the arm of your couch. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you. Now reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding onto something for support. If you are not holding onto anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. And now press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there. Feel that nice stretch in your quads. As you're doing that, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. So think about kind of tucking your booty underneath you and trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you're tilting your pelvis forward, make sure you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively, but I also want you to feel that stretch extend all the way out to your hip flexors. One more nice deep breath here. Really press that heel into the booty cheek. Tilt the pelvis forward. Slow, controlled exhale and come out. Shake out the legs. Let's get the other side. So bending your opposite knee, bringing the foot behind you. Reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you are holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press your heel into your booty cheek, and as you're doing that, tilt your pelvis forward. Tuck the booty underneath you. Suck that belly button all the way back towards your spine. Feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles. Feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So make sure that as you are tilting your pelvis forward, you're continuing to actively press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you're pressing your heel into your booty cheek, make sure you're continuously tilting that pelvis forward. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. So one more time, inhaling all the way down to your belly button. Fill up your entire torso with air. Use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale and come out. And one more time, just shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. And that is it. That is our little cool down. So if you find that you are still breathing heavy, your heart rate is still elevated, just take a couple more minutes to pace around. I'm going to move directly onto cardio. So you can see that I have Rebecca here with me today. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code Rebecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I'm going to set my interval timer for 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 40 rounds. That's 20 minutes. I'm going to get some music going, and I'm just going to do 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. Then I will do my stretching, have my shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of my day. The additional cardio is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge, but I'm sharing this with you because every year since year like 2 or 3 of the challenge, this is how I do my challenge every year. After every single workout, I like to tack on 20 to 30 minutes or more of additional moderate paced cardio. For me, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be 20 minutes of interval jump rope. But every once in a while, I might decide to go for a jog. If it's a nice day and I have time, I'll do a nice long hike. So those are all great options, but it can be any kind of moderate paced cardio you want. So if you have a bike, you could go for a bike ride. If you have access to a pool, or if you live close to a body of water and weather is permitting, you could go for a swim. Swimming is phenomenal cardio. But if you have access to something like a treadmill, an elliptical, exercise bike, Stairmaster, something like that, you could hop on one of those for 20, 30 minutes, more if you want to. If you have access to a heavy bag, you could work on your heavy bag. You could do up and down the steps. So if you have stairs in your home or your apartment complex, that's a great option. Also, if you took your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail and there's steps there, anywhere there's steps, you can do up and down the steps. So if you have access to the field, at your local high school, for example, you could do up and down the bleachers, or maybe you could jog around the track. You could combine them. You could just go to a fitness class if that's something you enjoy, or you really can just meet up with a friend in the park and play some tennis or some basketball. Just 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio any way you want to get it done. Again, it's not mandatory, but if you are looking to use this challenge to get yourself in shape, if you want to improve your stamina, maybe you're trying to lose weight, the additional cardio is really going to help to accelerate that process for you, and that means you're going to start to see results faster, and that can be really, really encouraging, and it can help you to find the motivation to stick with the challenge. Because first of all, tacking on that cardio after as many of the workouts as you can is going to get you stronger. It's going to improve your stamina. That means the workouts themselves are going to start to get noticeably easier, and you're going to be able to complete them more quickly. So every day when you go to get your reps done, it can be really hard to find the motivation to get your reps done if it's really a chore. If you know that the workouts are going to be so hard, it's going to take such a long time. But if you notice the workouts starting to get faster and easier, it's going to be easier to motivate yourself to get them done every day if you know that it's not going to be as much of a time commitment and it's not going to be as difficult as it was maybe the first week or 2 of the challenge. And obviously that's going to make it easier to stick with the challenge. But also, it's just really motivating when you can see the results of your hard work. Once you see that you are getting stronger, you're getting faster, maybe your clothes are starting to fit differently, you're looking different when you look at yourself in the mirror and you like those changes and you are seeing physical evidence that you are getting closer to your goal, what you're doing is working, it really makes you want to keep doing what you're doing because you can see that it's working. So that makes motivation easier to come by as well. So 20 to 30 minutes or more of additional moderate paced cardio. I do it after every single workout. I know not everybody has the time to do that, but if you can find at least 2 or 3 days a week to tack on that 20 to 30 minutes or more of additional moderate paced cardio after your workout, I just know that you are going to be so much happier with your results on day 40 of the challenge. This challenge is long and it's tough, and we work hard every year doing this challenge, and I really want everyone to be happy with the results when the challenge is over. So once more, the additional cardio is not required. It is not officially part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. Also very strongly recommended is that you are taking at least 20 to 30 minutes every day to stretch. If you have time to do your stretching right now, immediately after the workout, or if you're adding on cardio immediately after your cardio, is always going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time to stretch now, that's fine. It doesn't matter what time of day you do your stretching, just as long as you're getting it done. It's going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing. And if you're doing this challenge with me and daily exercise is something new to you, then it's very likely that you are experiencing muscle soreness. So If you do a workout that is so tough you can't even move the next day, it's going to be next to impossible to find the motivation to get your reps done that day. So if you take the time to stretch after the workouts, you will alleviate some of that muscle soreness, so that after a particularly tough workout, if you took the time to stretch, maybe the next day you're not feeling 100%, maybe you're still feeling sore, but if you can move at least, it's going to be that much more likely that you'll be able to find the motivation to get your reps done that day. So I don't want anyone walking around in pain feeling sore, but it's especially important if you're doing this challenge with me, because it's going to help you stick with the challenge. If you do something to mitigate some of that muscle soreness that you're experiencing, one of the main objectives of this challenge is to establish a habit of daily exercise, and you only do that through consistent effort. That is why we are working out 6 days in a row every single week, Monday through Saturday of every week. So the goal is to do all 40 days of the challenge with me, so that by the time we reach day 40, you will have firmly established that habit of daily exercise. And then after the challenge is complete, you will continue making daily exercise a part of your routine. So we want to do everything we can to stack the deck in your favor. So that means stretching every day to alleviate any muscle soreness, so that it's easier to motivate yourself to do the reps because you're not feeling so stiff that you can't move. And also, of course, taking the time to stretch every day is going to reduce your risk of injury moving forward. The two most important things you can do, the two most effective things you can do, the most effective steps you can take to reduce your risk of injury is, number one, doing the exercises correctly, and number two, stretching after every single workout. So again, this is important even if you're not doing the challenge, because I don't want anyone getting injured, but especially if you are doing the challenge. So if you have to miss a few days because you got injured and you need a few days to recover, all that momentum we've been working so hard to build is just going to come to a screeching halt, and it's going to make it that much more difficult to establish that habit of daily exercise. And also, it can just be really discouraging. I don't want you to feel, if you're injured, that you did something wrong. You could do every rep with picture perfect form, and you could stretch every single day. There are no guarantees. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get injured. Injuries happen. So if you injure yourself and you need to sit out a few days, absolutely that is what you should do. And I don't want you to feel like you did something wrong. And I don't want you to feel like you failed at the challenge, and so there's no sense in continuing, okay? If you get injured, that happens. Sit out, recover, and when you're ready, just rejoin the challenge. Complete as many days of the challenge as you can. The goal, yes, is to do all 40 days of the challenge, but I don't want you to kill yourself to do that. All I want to do is stack the deck in your favor. So we stretch every day to help reduce the risk of injury, because if you can get through all 40 days without becoming injured, then that makes it all the more likely that you are able to stick with the challenge, do all 40 days of the challenge with me. But if you do become injured, please, again, be smart, be safe, listen to your body, make the decision that is best for you. Some injuries you can kind of work through, modify certain exercises, but there are other injuries where you really do need to take a few days to just rest. So just make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day so that you stack the deck in your favor. Stretching every day is going to help your muscles to be generally more flexible, they'll be more pliable, you'll see your range of motion increase, so it just decreases the likelihood that you are going to strain something or pull a muscle during one of the workouts, and that increases the likelihood that you will be able to stick with the challenge. And also, taking the time to stretch every day is, of course, going to improve your flexibility. So if you're doing these 160 reps with me every single day to build strength, and you're adding on 20 to 30 minutes or more of additional moderate paced cardio after as many of the workouts as you can, at least 2 to 3 times a week, to improve your stamina, why not take the extra time to stretch every day to improve your flexibility while you're at it? It just makes the challenge so much more well-rounded. Flexibility is actually a really important aspect of your overall fitness level that tends to be overlooked sometimes, and I think a lot of people undervalue it. But honestly, taking the time to prioritize your flexibility now is really going to improve your quality of life moving forward. Flexibility and mobility are easy to take for granted when you're younger, but as we age, they become infinitely more valuable. And I don't know anyone who's not aging, so Please make sure that you are taking the time to stretch every day. Just please make sure that you are doing so safely. So again, right now, your muscles are warm. This is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done. But if you need to put off your stretching until later on in the day, that is fine. Just remember that if you do that, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you will need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you jump into your stretching routine. You never want to start stretching with cold muscles because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But that's it. That is all I have for you today, so I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this day 37 workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been doing the challenge with me, whether you've been doing the challenge with me since day one or you just jumped in today or anywhere in between. Please know that I appreciate you so much. But even if you're not doing the challenge with me, thank you for doing today's workout with me. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Again, please just know that I appreciate each and every one of you so much. If you know anyone else who might be interested in joining the challenge, please remember that even though this is day 37 of a 40-day challenge, it is not too late to join the challenge. It's never too late to join the challenge. We have 3 different playlists to choose from. So if you know someone who's a beginner, they can follow along with last year's playlist. They can follow along with this year's playlist if they're at an intermediate level. If you know someone who's in super great shape and they're looking for a fitness challenge that's really going to push them, you can share the Year 5 playlist with them. But please feel free to share this workout with them or any of the 3 playlists for this challenge. Or if you just know someone who's looking to start home workouts, please make sure they're aware of my channel. I have over 1,000 of my own original free home workouts on my channel to choose from. But if you know someone who's interested in joining the challenge, please feel free to share this video with them, share any or all of the playlists with them, because the more people I have doing the challenge with me each year, the happier I am. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, or if you need to see beginner modifications, please remember that I am always here to help. So ask questions if you have them. And that is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 38. Bye.